lovelies, it's Ramona, and today we are moving on to video number 2 in our Makeup Basics 101 series. Last video we went over skin types and skincare. This video we're going to be going over primers and how to best find the one that's going to fit what you need. So let's get started. If you're familiar with the makeup community at all, you have heard the word primer. In the past couple of years, it's really seen an uptake in popularity and basically become a staple of pretty much any makeup bag, whereas I feel like 5 years ago or more, it maybe wasn't. Maybe I just wasn't aware of it as much back then, but now it is pretty much synonymous with a good base for your makeup. So what we're going to go over today is what primer is going to fit you best. And again, that depends on skin type, oily combination, dry, normal. All of these things are going to go into play whenever it comes to how your primer is going to work best for you, as well as the best way to utilize different types of primers and how to apply them so that you are creating the best mask for your makeup to sit on top of, hopefully making your makeup last longer. So for the most part, there are 3 types of primers. You have silicone-based primers, which are ideal for oily skin types. They focus on mattifying and smoothing skin. They are especially effective in minimizing pores, as people with oilier skin do tend to have larger pores, especially in their most oily areas like noses and foreheads. The silicone properties in these primers are really going to help extend the wear of your makeup, as oilier skin does have a tendency to break down foundations, eyeshadows, powders, anything faster than normal skin. So for people like me, I'm going to lose my makeup faster in the oilier spots of my face than someone else who has less oily skin would. So it's really important that I find something very mattifying in those areas to help me battle that. Some really good examples of silicone-based primers are the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer on the higher end side and the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer on the drugstore side. Those are going to be really recommended. I do actually use a Smashbox primer myself, although it is a different type, and it works really well for me. I've heard also really good things about the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer as well. The second type of foundation is a cream-based foundation. These are very popular for dry skin types because they do sit on the skin, they do not absorb as fast, and in doing that, they are creating a hydrating layer between your face and your makeup. Now, one of the reasons that this is important for people with dry skin is that dry skin can tend to flake when you are applying makeup and using different types of tools on your face. You're fluffing up skin that already tends to be a little bit dry, basically exfoliating with the tools that you're using. And if you're using a primer that helps moisturize your face from the beginning, it's going to be a good buffer for you. Some examples of really great cream primers are the Tarte Timeless Primer, that's on the higher end side, and the L'Oreal Secrets Perfecting Magic Base on the drugstore side. The third type of primer that we're going to talk about is the lotion-based primer, and these are the most universal. They can be used by the most skin types because they can work sometimes with oilier skin, maybe when paired with something else, and they also can work for normal skin, for combination skin, even sometimes the heavier formulas can work for dry skin. They are the most common. I do have some lotion-based primers. I do use some of those on my skin, on my less oilier sides. I tend to combine 2 different primers for my face, or a couple of different products for my face, because I find that it gives me the best overall long wear for my makeup. Some really good examples of lotion-based primers are the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer on the higher end side and the NYX Angel Veil Primer on the drugstore side. I actually have heard really good reviews on both of those, so I think that either one of them you can't go wrong with. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do my primer in the mornings. That way y'all can see how it's applied. I do use my fingers. There's no need for a brush or a sponge for primer. I do go in first with the MAC Matte Gel. And this is a new find for me. This is actually one of the things that I purchased at MAC last weekend, if y'all saw that post. It is amazing. I've been wearing this on my oiliest parts of my skin, and by midday, end day, I am just not shiny, or just the smallest amount of shine showing through if it's been a really warm day and I've run a lot of errands. So I just wanted to give a shout out to this for being absolutely what it was marketed as to me. Put just a very small dab on my finger, and I'm going to dab my fingers together and pat right in here, and then smooth it in a little bit, and then just whatever is left over on my fingers, because it does go very far. I'm going to rub it into my forehead very softly, trying not to disturb any skin. And that's it. Next, I'm going to go in all over my face with the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. This is an oil-free product too. This is very good for people with oily skin. It is also pore minimizing, so it will help with that. Dab it together and then in circles, apply to where it's needed on my face. And I do go over the top of the mattifying gel just to help lock it in. And it's not necessary because we would prime them whenever we do our eyes, but you can also go over your eyelids if you want as well. Okay, and that is how I do my primer routine. I do this every morning. If I am even just wearing powder that day, I will wear primer because it helps with the breakdown of makeup. It's going to help it wear longer, and by the end of the day, you will be shocked at how much better your makeup has worn if you wear primer underneath it. We're gonna go ahead and head on to the next step in the next video. I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, go ahead and like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. We're gonna head on to the next thing and I'll see you over there.